They said the city would burn, that blood would soak the stones, that when Saladin entered Jerusalem, the Holy Sepulchre would be desecrated, its sanctity shattered forever. But history tells a different story. On a quiet October morning in 1187, the Muslim Sultan walked through the gates of Jerusalem, not with fire, not with fury, but with purpose. The Crusader kingdom had fallen, the Golden Cross had been lowered, and Saladin, victor of Hattin, unifier of Islam, entered the heart of Christianity's holiest city. But what history forgets to tell us is what he did next. He didn't destroy the Holy Sepulchre. He entered it, alone. And when he came out, something had changed. What did Saladin find inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre? What was so powerful, so unexpected, that it left even the conqueror silent? The answer has never been written in any official chronicle. Not by Muslim scribes, not by Christian monks, not by the Vatican. And perhaps that silence is the clue. To understand the magnitude of that moment, we have to step back, before Saladin ever laid eyes on Jerusalem, back to when the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was more than just a building. It was a monument layered with centuries of fear, faith, blood, and buried truths. Built in the 4th century by Constantine the Great, it was said to enshrine the very site of Christ's crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. But the truth was always more complicated. Beneath the marble, beneath the stone, beneath the rituals and relics, there were older foundations, structures that predated Christianity. A Roman temple once stood there. Before that, a quarry. And in between, rumors, whispers of something ancient, something not meant to be found. The Crusaders never questioned it. For them, it was holy by default, a beacon of divine legitimacy. But Saladin was no ordinary conqueror. Unlike his enemies, he was not driven by blind hatred. He was a tactician, a scholar, a man who saw faith and power as weapons to be wielded with precision. And when he reclaimed Jerusalem, he did not destroy its holy places. He studied them. That's why, after securing the city, he requested entry into the church. Alone. No guards. No witnesses. We know this from a single line in the diary of Imad ad-Din al-Isfahani, Saladin's personal secretary. The entry reads, "The Sultan entered the church with the weight of conquest upon his shoulders and returned with the weight of something greater." No explanation, no detail, but another source exists, hidden, forgotten. In 1924, a British archaeologist named Dr. Harold Weston was cataloging Ottoman-era documents in a small library in Damascus when he found a strange letter. It was unsigned, undated, written in Arabic but with peculiar Latin annotations in the margins. It described, in vague but disturbing terms, a chamber beneath the Holy Sepulchre, a place sealed long before the Crusaders arrived, a place that Saladin had entered. According to the letter, the chamber was accessed through a hidden staircase behind the aedicule, the small shrine within the church believed to cover Christ's tomb. The writer claimed the stairs led to a vault not listed on any architectural plan. Inside this vault, Saladin allegedly found something described only as the guardian of the crossless era. The phrase is cryptic, but it's not unique. A 14th century Coptic manuscript, preserved in a Cairo monastery, uses a similar term, Haris al-Zaman al-Kadam, the watcher of the ancient age. It describes an artifact buried beneath Jerusalem, older than Moses, older than Abraham, something not of this world, or at least not of the world we were taught to believe in. Could this be what Saladin found? Dr. Weston believed so. He spent the rest of his life trying to gain access to the hidden layers beneath the church. He petitioned the Vatican, the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate, even the Ottoman authorities. All denied him. In 1937, Weston disappeared. His final notes were found scattered on his desk, with a single phrase underlined in red. He walked in as a conqueror, but left as a witness. Let that sink in. What could transform the mind of a hardened military leader? What could shake a man who had stared down death on 1,000 battlefields? And more importantly, why has no one dared speak of it since? We tend to see the Holy Sepulchre as a fixed monument, a symbol of resurrection. but buildings carry memory. Stone absorbs silence, and silence is the language of things too dangerous to be spoken aloud. Some scholars believe that the chamber beneath the church holds relics that contradict all three Abrahamic religions. Texts or objects that reveal a forgotten civilization. One where gods were not separate, but one. Where resurrection was not a miracle, but a process. Where death was not the end, but a doorway. Others claim Saladin encountered a being. Not an angel, not a demon, something else. Something that had waited patiently beneath centuries of stone and war. Something that could only be awakened by one who came not with devotion, but with victory. Still others dismiss it all as myth. But myths often guard truths so profound, we fear what their light might reveal. There's a reason no official Muslim record describes what happened in those moments. There's a reason the Vatican never investigated, or if it did, buried the findings. There's a reason the Church, to this day, prohibits unauthorized excavation beneath the Aedicule. Because whatever Saladin found beneath the Holy Sepulchre was not meant to be known, and yet history leaves us fragments. The diary entry, the Damascus letter, the Coptic manuscript, the archaeologist who vanished. A trail of breadcrumbs, leading not just to a room beneath a church, but to a riddle buried beneath belief itself. Maybe Saladin didn't just reclaim a city. Maybe he uncovered something the Crusaders never dared to look for. And maybe that something still waits, buried in silence, beneath the holiest ground on earth, waiting for the next one brave or foolish enough to seek it.